What's good, dudes?
Hello, friends.
Fanboys are back in the house. Literally,
We exist
new
still.
location, and we have just seen Superman. And we're all
We
pretty-
sure did.
Yeah, we're
Hell
pretty
yeah.
fired up about that. You know, if we get off topic, it's because we love movies. We're big movie guys, and we just
Yeah, huge film guys.
yeah, we just love talking about them. So if you like talking about them too, stick around and subscribe while you're at it and hit that like button maybe, and we'd really appreciate that.
That would be lovely.
What do we think about this movie?
Let's just get right to
Hell
Right in the
yeah.
meat and
Let's
potatoes.
get right to the heart of it.
Right in the meat and two veg.
Yeah.
Why not the stomach? Can't we start with the stomach of it?
We could.
Why do we have to go with the heart of it?
Because there's a lot of heart in this film.
Oh, Alex.
There we
Wow.
go.
The
This
segue
is
master.
true.
Yeah, what do we think? What do we think overall, guys?
Daniel?
No, I don't want to go first. I always give a long-winded
Oh.
answer. But, okay, I liked it. I had no expectations, and I was really not looking forward to it, and I came out smiling. So I had a good time. Long story
Cool.
short.
Very nice.
Cool. I really enjoyed it. It felt like a like late '90s, early 2000s, like very pulpy, bright, uplifting version of the hero, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So I enjoyed it.
Yep. I'm not even going to add anymore because I think the exact same thing.
Atticus Finch, nice.
Yeah, I one thing I will say though, I really enjoyed the performances. They just really
Yeah.
carried
Swell
it with
acting
me.
all
Like
around.
Lois was great.
Yeah.
Big David Corn Sweat did great. Luther was great. Luther.
Tell us what you liked about Lois Reese.
What I like about Lois, other than that she's the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. Listen, this is coming from big Snyder guys. I think she blows Zack Snyder's Lois out of the water. Like, I don't know.
No, she crushed it. She absolutely was phenomenal.
So,
as,
anyways, that's
How
my.
about you?
I
Alan
loved
Moore.
it. I loved
Yeah.
it. Loved the movie. It was a lot of fun.
This is a big step for you, Alex, too, because I remember,
Well, yeah.
early, for those who know the
actually-
FNF lore, when
Yeah.
James Gunn was first announced.
Yeah,
Alex
well,
was quite-
as if you've been listening or watching or following us for any given period of time, I've been very back and forth on this
Not
film,
us.
and as the film details have been coming out and as everything's been developing, not gonna lie, I've been very skeptical because I'm very, and I know Ben can speak to this as well. I'm very protective over this character. I'm very protective over the DC universe. And I want to see everything in a fresh, new direction going forward, and I think this delivered on it. Again, little apprehensive. I wouldn't say I wasn't excited to see it because I was excited to see it, but again, apprehensive because I was afraid of some of the choices that were going to be made.
Yep.
And I came away from it actually really enjoying it. I think I'm actually the most enthusiastic out of this entire panel right now.
could be.
I love this movie.
It
Like,
also
was-
could
it was
just
great.
be because the beer is hitting me that we had afterwards, and and now I'm exhausted.
The
but-
fat smash burger.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's the more I sit on it now, as we're out of the theater and we're just kind of relaxing, and I'm getting to go over all these moments in my head. I'm just kind of like, yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I loved David's performance. Thought it was phenomenal. Lois, as you said, was like unreal. I think their chemistry together too was
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Very good. Yeah.
Totally.
As many people have said out there in their reviews so far.
Which is honestly, it's that's one of the most important elements of a great Superman story.
Oh yeah,
I think
literally
sure.
has to be. Yeah,
has
like
to be there.
and then one other thing I'll say is I think Jimmy Olsen's
Yeah, he's
part
great.
in this was hilarious. Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
And there will be spoilers in this footnote.
Right.
for
Yeah,
anyone
this
that's
is a
watching
spoiler
this.
review. Yep.
Yeah.
One thing I will say is like one of my strong points for the movie, and I was always pretty confident in this, but whether you like his style or not, I think it's pretty, across the board, James Gunn is very good at writing likable characters, or at least making you like the characters after the movie is done. And that's one thing about this movie is like I wasn't rolling my eyes at any point because of like cringy dialogue or like just poorly written scenes. While there's some like batshit crazy stuff going on the screen, it's not like, oh my god, like what the likes of Marvel and Star Wars has been putting out recently, where it's eye rolling. I didn't feel myself feeling that way at all, which is nice. It was refreshing. It was like
Yeah, I also, to your point, I actually didn't feel any. There wasn't any bits of dialogue that I was cringing at.
yeah,
either,
I wasn't
which-
like, oh,
Yeah, you know, I think the humor was, you know, pretty tasteful. There was a lot of it, but I think it was tastefully done at one point. But you did actually bring up a point about, you had like a small gripe about not letting things
Breathe.
You can elaborate on that. Which
And
I
like
can see.
it didn't like make or break the movie for me. It was just little things, and you know, obviously it's subjective, so don't crucify me for saying this. But I think it was overall a great movie. It's just, yeah, I think there was just some moments where like let the emotions sit a little more instead of just moving right on to the next thing. Like it was a very fast paced movie, which is good. But I just think, there could have been some emotional beats. And this is me nitpicking again. I'm saying it's a great movie. But I did think there were some great emotional beats that really hit, especially with Lois and Clark. Like the kids
And Pakent and
themselves.
McKent.
Yep.
Yes.
Pa Kent and Ma Kent.
Yeah. Seriously. I thought they knocked it out of the park. And yeah, I don't know.
Different take on Ma and Pa Kent than I think what we've seen before. But I don't. It was a great kind of fit. I like that kind of. There was a reset point in the film where, you know, he goes back to the farm to like heal up, has a little heart to heart with Pa Kent, and you know, it's good stuff. Like, and I'm really glad they didn't just like, you know, kill him off right there on the bench. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, true.
I thought his heart was gonna.
He starts crying and just
Yeah.
keels over. I would have been like, "Wow, that's bold."
I would not have appreciated that. But no, everything was good. The emotional beats, like a lot of it did kind of hit. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
What do we think about Ultraman in that reveal there? Which 98% of people online guessed already, but
yeah, I mean, like, if you already know who Ultraman is, I guess you can kind of see it coming from a mile away. You know what? It didn't change the character, like, I think for me. So like it didn't, there was like a reveal, and it was kind of like, I guess if you didn't know Ultraman and it didn't see it coming, it would kind of be like, oh, what the heck? But like it didn't, they weren't trying to make it this like huge, crazy mic drop reveal. Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't do anything for me, but it didn't affect it positively or negatively. It was just like, oh,
Okay.
If
But,
anything,
yeah.
it spoke more to Lex's character in showing just like how obsessive he is about Super. Because I mean, like, you know, there's the preamble to that is, you know, he watched like all of a bunch of Superman's fights. I forget what they said or whatever, and like deconstructed them all. And now he's like, you know, like basically like putting like moves to like combinations that he's calling out to all of his like little employees that are
Bro's
there.
playing Mortal Kombat with
He's
Superman.
he's playing Mortal Kombat. So, you know, like, it's not like, if they were going to try and like, you know, somehow inject more weight into the reveal, I think it would have like taken it away, made it feel cheap. But it was just like, okay, yep, he's a clone. Lex is a psycho. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, he was still just in the way that Superman just had to take him out. Right.
Two asides when it comes to Ultraman. As soon as the mask came off and he had the long hair and I saw him, I was like, Anakin? Like, he looked like Hayden Christensen.
Looked like Sebastian
in Revenge of the
Stan's
Sith.
old Winter Soldier.
Yeah, there was that. And then also, as soon as he fell into the black hole void, I was like, oh, so Bizarro is going to be a villain at some point because it's literally a clone.
Yeah, after you
of
said that, I'm
Superman.
like, yeah.
And he's
that's a good
gonna be.
point.
They showed that the black hole like warps you and screws up your face and stuff. So he's gonna come out and have like the whole messed up face. I don't know if that'll be the next movie, but I mean, it's literally
Power swap. They're gonna do the fire breath and the freeze eyes, or what?
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I thought the Metamorpho little like side story was pretty good too. You know,
Yep.
like it wasn't, again, like there were a lot of. This is something that I want to actually ask you guys. Do we think that it was too overstuffed?
that was one of my concerns going in, because I was like, when we heard about this whole roster of characters that were going to be in this, like, holy, this is supposed to be like a Soup's origin story, but everybody had their role, they filled it, and it was boom, 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 boom. Like Metamorpho, he had his thing, he was the kryptonite, okay, and then
I thought
Yeah.
that was
Superman
cool.
saves
That's how
him,
they
yeah.
integrated him into it.
Yeah.
Like,
It wasn't like, oh, we need to get the backstory of how the child
Yeah.
was there, and it
it's
wasn't
like
any
he can
of
make
that.
kryptonite. That's all we needed to have.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
I like that little tidbit of world building too. They actually said that there was no more kryptonite on Earth, which means
Yeah.
at some point they disposed of it, or I don't know what, but that was interesting.
It would be kind of
I,
cool if Lex like has used it all for his mech suit, if that ever becomes a thing.
That'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. I think it was like every character served an important purpose. Like the Justice Gang didn't really make that big of an appearance, in my opinion.
Didn't
Like
detract from his story.
100%. Like it was still very central to Superman and Lois, for that matter.
Yeah.
And then when they, you know, like the battle between Baravia and what's the other place?
I forget the
Yeah, I
name.
forget how to pronounce it properly, but it starts with a J. Like I like how Green Lantern just goes and like deals with that. So like they have their own purpose. Or like Mr. Terrific taking Lois to like go and save Superman is like a cool aside. Just a cool way to show like that heroes are already established, as we see literally in the first frame of the movie with the titles coming up there to kind of just give some context to the world, which I thought was also cool.
One little point I want to throw in as well that I found interesting is there are a lot of things that are implied that you know about in this film. Like they imply that, okay, you already know the origin. You imply that, okay, people, like I'm talking like, from a director's standpoint to like general audiences, there's kind of like this implied thing where it's like, if you know like any kind of like Superman lore or kind of like Kryptonian lore, anything like that, like, surrounding Superman and like his kind of like the B roster of like his characters, if you will, like because it just places you right into the world. Like there's a couple of like, text, like, titles that are kind of a preamble of like, 300 years ago, this happened, 30 years ago, this happened, 3 minutes ago, this happened. And then boom, right after that, Fortress of Solitude, Krypto is introduced. Like you get all of this stuff, right? We're placed into an ecosystem where things have already been in motion. That's what I get the sense. So like he's already met Mr. Terrific and Hawkgirl and Green Lantern. You know what I mean? Like he already kind of knows who Lex Luthor is. Like, so it was almost like, I think it was well done. Yeah. I came away from it liking that aspect of it because we've never seen that before. Because Superman stories have always been so central. Yeah. And, going into it, I know Ben and I at least have always said we want to keep it like a Superman, like, centered, like focused, like film. But I actually kind of like how it's literally like you were dropped in the middle of like a friggin' like 7th season of a TV show. You know what I mean? Like it's...
I kind of had this epiphany.
I don't know if I'm articulating it properly, but that's kind of the feeling that I got. But
Yeah.
I liked the movie, I think, more because of it. So we never got something like that.
Well, it was like what I was saying before. I kind of had this epiphany after watching the movie because, like, going in, I was like, "This looks like super campy, and it's like going to be just like crazy, wild, like concept, super campy thing." And then I thought about it. I'm like, in the context of him restarting the universe like this is kind of a brilliant move on his part because he's starting the audience with the universe being like, okay, here's how fucking crazy this universe is. Now you can go in any direction and it won't be like jarring to the audience. I remember when Guardians of the Galaxy first came out and I was coming off the heels of like watching Winter Soldier. And going and watching Winter Soldier and then watching Guardians of the Galaxy, you're like, how the hell is this even in the same realm of same universe, right? Or imagine if, the Batman, Matt Reeves' The Batman was the first movie in the DCU, and then this movie came out. It would have been so jarring and like difficult to wrap your mind around them being in the same universe. Yeah. But now, because he started this as the beginning of the universe, you can go in any direction. You can go super boots on the ground, and it won't be jarring because it's like, okay, well that can be just like a little like in a little pocket
pocket dimension of the universe.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I honestly I've come to really respect the fact that he went absolutely crazy with the like the concepts
and I think people are kind of tired of like the building the team sort of aspect of these kind of movies. Like we already had that with the Snyder verse, even though that was rushed as well because of the WB regime at the time. But instead of going and finding all these people and grouping them together, they're like, no, like metahumans have existed for 300 years already. Like everybody on Earth knows they exist. Yep. And we're just going to plop you right in the middle of that, like you said, and just like run wild with it.
One scene that encapsulates that in this movie that is actually like, it's like a really nice moment, but also kind of like comedically well done, but it's when Superman is sitting in his apartment. It was like that original shot we got of him in the window with the giant jellyfish in the background, and the Justice Gang are just fighting this massive jellyfish, and Lois and Clark are just talking, and she keeps looking at him like, that's fine. Like, so it's like the world is just used to seeing that,
and
right?
And there are other things that are going on,
right?
Like
which is how it should be. Like even watching like the Justice League animated show growing up as a kid, it's like you had these specific stories centered around these characters, but then it would show another group of characters fighting off something else in the world. Like they're like especially Superman picks and chooses his battles because he knows that there's this entire other group of people that also have his back. So
He decides to
I
get
like
into
that.
geopolitical conflicts instead.
Yeah.
yeah,
Ending and starting wars.
yeah, exactly.
What do we think about the suit? Seeing it in motion finally.
I actually didn't think it looked awful.
It works.
Yeah, it's still the worst thing I've ever seen. To be honest. No, I'm just kidding.
It's my
I'm just-
least favorite one. I
I'm
think.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. The production quality of it is a little bit lower than I would say all suits across the board. Like all suits across the board, production quality pretty low on them. Although Mr. Terrific looked a lot better.
Well, he's
than I thought he was
supposed to
gonna
look
be.
like that though. His whole thing is he wears a leather jacket, but like the rest of the Justice Gang, like it looked like CW outfits, and I'm like,
Well, his suit kind of looks like a CW outfit as well.
Guy Gardner's.
No, well, Superman.
Well, no, I'm just saying those
Tyler
other ones-
Hoechlin's suit looks better production
For
like,
sure.
in terms of production quality. Looks
Yeah.
better than this movie, which is mind-boggling.
And I know
However,
before people like snap too. It's just like
Yeah,
I
just
know a
relax
lot of
first.
work, a lot of work goes into making those suits, and like the
100%, yep.
quality of the materials and stuff are all great. But it's just from a design standpoint. Even if they just like
And we're not-
cinched around his arms a little more, and just like made it a little more form fitting. It
There
just,
were some shots though where he looked sick. Like I think it was near the end where like the sun was behind him. I was like, damn, suit looks good there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
well-
like there's other suits where and no matter the shot, it looks sick. I
Yeah.
won't say which movie, but
it works. It works
Yeah.
for the context of the film. And again, we're not trying to bash any production designers or anything like that because we know how much work goes
Yeah.
into these things. It's just when you have a budget that's as big as this and a film as big
what
as
was it?
this, like, you know,
350, 350
No,
million?
I think 225. But then there's this article when those like that random leak article came out, like prior to the embargo lifting, that they were like bashing and being like, oh, like apparently it went over by like 100 million, all this stuff. But then like in every interview I've ever seen James Gunn in, he's like, I do my best to stay within, if not lower than every budget I've ever done in like any movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't think that's legit at all.
Yeah.
But then they juiced up the fact that like, oh, this movie's gonna flop because it cost 225 million and the marketing budget was reportedly 200 million, and like they said it in a way of like every f***ing movie is like that. We learned that in school, not to be like, oh, we're in film school, but like it's true. In school, we learned that like take whatever that movie's budget is and double it, and that's what it costs with marketing. Like that's a general rule of thumb. That's very common. So like I hate seeing that flow around
Yeah.
online. So I'm
And
just
this is it's a Superman movie. It's gonna make money because everything else
sure.
in the theater that's being made by these big studios are absolutely tanking for the most part.
oh yeah,
Right?
Yep.
Like, Sinners made a lot of money, thank God.
for sure.
But everything else is just absolutely just tanky.
Touching on the suit thing again, though, I watched another interview with James Gunn that said someone asked him like, "Oh, like will Superman have like many suits going forward in the DCU?" And he was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
So like we're gonna
Thank
get
God.
different versions. I do want to see him have a neckline finally. Like the collared look has never been done before, and I appreciate him doing that. Whatever, but like.
Yeah.
I want to see like even just having that neckline. I've seen a render of it just on like some random designer's Instagram, and I was
looks
like,
filthy.
even that looks better. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's just something to do.
I
with
do
just
like
the
the suit,
fit,
though.
like the bagginess. Like,
I
but
do
it
I
works.
do like the suit. And it does work
works.
for the film.
You know he's Superman, so did his job.
Yeah.
I do like the Reeves-inspired yellow S on the back of the cape too.
Yep,
because
I
that's
like
something
that.
we really haven't seen since that. I want to say.
Let's talk about Krypto as well.
Yeah,
Thoughts on that?
Dog Boy.
Yeah.
That was another element. Like going into this movie, I was like, there's just so many wacky things that I don't know how I'm gonna like feel about. And that was another one. I was like, all right, I'm down for Krypto the Superdog. Like it works. Like
Yeah, Krypto was awesome.
yeah, no, and the CG was really good. Obviously, like there's that little level of like janky eyes, but like for the most part, like the first simulations, I was like, that's the best CG dog I've ever
Yeah.
seen. Like
same effects house that did Rocket. For anyone wondering.
I mean that makes total
Which makes
sense.
sense. Which makes sense. Yeah, he was a great part of the movie. Like even like comedic like relief aside, like it was just to see the Superman family or the super family get expanded in that way and get kind of introduced live action for the first time it's pretty wild to see. Like it's pretty cool.
Speaking of which, massive spoiler alert here.
Yeah, huge.
Millie Alcock's Supergirl makes an
She looks
appearance.
good in that suit.
The suit looks right
Yeah.
out of the book. I haven't read the book, but I've seen
Yeah.
obviously what the suit is like in that book, and I've also seen the set leaks, low key.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks good.
Looks good.
Yep.
I thought it was funny how they introduced her just being hammered.
Yeah. I mean, you can touch on this more, but I only know bits and pieces of Woman of Tomorrow, but that's kind of the whole vibe of that.
Yeah,
She's just like really scarred and messed up, so she just goes and
like
parties,
she just goes off from like planet to planet, just like, you know, getting hammered. Not to the extent where she's kind of like sloppy drunk, like in that, like, you know, like in that like clip that we saw. But I mean, you know, it's just like interjected as, you know,
It was like a
humorous
post-credit
or
bit,
whatever.
yeah.
Like, you know, it's good.
That was the post-credit scene, in my opinion. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the lights in our theater came on when that part was on, so I mean, I took it as the end of the movie. But Krypto just absolutely body slamming her.
And I love it how she's just like, that's like playing with them, like she's smiling and getting like literally crushed against them.
And then Four is like literally shaking his head, like, you're terrible, like no boundaries whatsoever.
Yeah.
No
Honestly,
discipline.
I really liked the automatons. Like
Yeah, they were
they were
they were
jokes.
really
What, it's
cool.
Alan Tudyk, I think was
Literally just Kate
big
Winslet.
robot guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That
I
whole
thought they
first
were good.
sequence in the fortress was so cool.
Not even in my heart of hearts would I care if they died or whatever he says. It's like,
Literally.
Yeah, it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
The one thing that I really came to appreciate about this movie, and it's so refreshing to see because I hate this, and literally every other superhero movie, from what I can recall, there are no MacGuffins in this movie that are being used as a plot device.
True.
At the end of the day, it's purely character driven.
Yeah.
That's actually a good point.
And
you can't even really count the pocket dimension as a MacGuffin because it's just
Well, no, because usually a MacGuffin is like an object or something that they have to, that someone is after, right?
Yeah.
the dagger in
like Superman
Star
is
Wars,
the MacGuffin.
episode 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like he's just it's kind of a thing where you're kind of looking at the way I felt like plot wise is Superman is being pulled in a bunch of different directions because Lex is trying to pull him in a bunch of different directions, right? So as an audience member, we're kind of taken through this kind of like web of conspiracy, if you will, and Lex is all at the helm of it. But at the end of the day, that ending shot where, you know, Superman busts through the office and Lex is holding in like that rage when he knows that he's lost, it just illustrates how Superman is Lex's foil.
Yep.
Right. And it shows the flaw in his character and just illustrates it right then and there. At the end of the day, like, even though, yes, pocket dimension, like, you know, people, they didn't even like have a shot of like, you know, him going in there freeing everyone. Just all of a sudden it's like, oh, look, they're coming out of the ship. Everyone's good. You know, what I mean? It wasn't necessarily a MacGuffin. It was used to lock them up.
Furthers the plot
Further
because it
plot,
also
yeah.
allowed Lois to look into that more and team up with Mr. Terrific
Yeah.
and all that. So
Yeah.
you're right.
You know what I mean? Like, because I cannot stand where it's like, you know, like Aquaman, for example, where it's like he's looking for the trident or something, like, you know what I mean? And he's like, that's what takes him along the plot.
We need this thing to beat the bad guy.
Yes,
right?
or like the, you know, the most like you know, the most iconic of all is like the Infinity Stones, literally like all MacGuffins, right? Like, or the Gauntlet, I should say. So it's like, it's nice to actually see something that's just character driven. Yeah.
I will say too, one thing I really appreciated was James Gunn's level of self-restraint. And what I mean by that is this genre and just blockbuster movies in general are plagued by just like easy nostalgia bait or references or cameos or like things like that just to get people excited and get like headlines and stuff. And there's really none of that in this movie. That pocket dimension, there could have been if it was the MCU and it was a Spider-Man, we would have seen every Spider-Man ever
For
with
sure,
like,
yeah.
and you know what I mean, like, or just any,
Yeah.
you know, I was waiting to see the whole like what they did with the Flash, where we see
Yep.
3D render of Nick Cage's lost Superman movie.
exactly. Like he could have easily done that, and he
Yeah.
didn't do any of that, which I really, really appreciated because, you know, like, again, there's been a lot of Superman and DC stuff that's happened before this, so I appreciate the fact that he just let that sit in the past, and this is a new movie, and he didn't do any of like the cheap stuff.
He
like,
achieved what he set out to do. Is
Yeah,
we're restarting this and we're making it its own thing. And he's
Yeah.
staying true to that, which
I really
you gotta
respected that.
respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like how they showed kind of different splits in each character's willingness to like kill or do something darker.
yeah.
Like with Hawkgirl just lets the president of Arabia just fall to his death at the end there. And then
Arabia. It wasn't Arabia.
Arabia.
Oh, I thought you said Arabia. It just dropped Lawrence of Arabia.
Lawrence, she drops Lawrence of Arabia.
No,
I
Barabia.
thought you said
Arabian Night.
And just like even the inclusion of like Chris Smith like Peacemaker like on TV there too. It was not like a cameo and aha, like see, that's something else from DC. It's genuinely just world building, because that's the next thing we're going to see out of this universe is season 2 of Peacemaker, which also has the pocket dimension thing. So that pocket dimension stuff was built into the first season of Peacemaker. Remember when his dad has that armory and he's like, how can you fit something in the closet? And then it all envelopes out. Like that tech exists already. And we're going to see that like we saw in the trailer of Peacemaker season 2 again.
Pacemaker season.
That's
2.
another thing too that surprised me in the film, in terms of like how developed the world is already. Because like when they enter that pocket dimension, I was like, oh shit! They just like he has this technology. Like he just gave James Gunn, because he wrote the script, but like he just like gave Lex this technology already. You know what I mean? And I was like, wow, like they're like things have happened in this universe already, and we're just kind of getting dropped in, which I think, from like a marketing standpoint, a business standpoint, when you're looking at the timeline of the next decade of these movies, like smarter way to do it. Like if you wanted to start everything from the ground up, I think, if this was like a Superman origin story, I don't think it would have been as effective.
And they're also too late because it's already been done. So everyone's going to be like, it's another MCU kind of thing. It's like, nope, we're starting. Everyone knows this already. There's no.
Yep. Not only has there been multiple Superman origin stories or origin films, I should say, but, the whole like world build has been done already with like Infinity War and Endgame. And you can see that people are less excited going into whatever next big thing they got going on.
I don't think anybody wants to see origin stories anymore. It's such a tired formula.
Because everyone knows them already.
Yeah, that's it, right?
Yeah,
It
people
becomes
know
so
already.
ingrained in popular culture that it's just like, why even touch on it again?
And these superhero films have really created a kind of like design or like a language like in themselves that it's like, your average moviegoer is going to be able to follow along, right? Like we've been wired to really be able to be more literate with this kind of stuff.
Call us Wyerton Willie.
Sorry?
Call us Wyerton Willie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You could.
The extension of season guy.
It literally felt like if you were to go walk into a comic book store like right now and just go buy either a Superman issue or like an Action Comics issue and like open like the front page, like that's this movie. You know what I mean? You might be entering at issue 3 of like a 12 issue run or something like that's what this movie felt like in a good way. Seeing the Hall of Justice was also sick.
Yeah.
First time we've really kind of we saw it a little bit live action.
It's true.
From ours truly, but to actually see it kind of like being used and at like 30% capacity because there's like 3 people in there doing like absolutely
entire
nothing.
building. Yeah.
Buddies in there eating cereal. No, not actually. But that was really cool to see.
It's very cool because that building, I think it's the Cincinnati like station, one of like I don't know if it's still an active train station or not, but it was at some point, and that was what the Hall of Justice was based upon when it was first introduced, and they actually shot there. So it's like pretty iconic for multiple different reasons.
Nice.
What did we think of this iteration of Metropolis?
Of
Great.
Metropolis.
Well, fantastic.
Very cool.
I liked it. It feels like Metropolis. Totally feels like Metropolis.
Yeah, it's got some space age stuff going on, but at the same time, it still has that kind of like Art Deco, kind of early 40s type vibe, 30s.
Ooh, I love all the Daily Planet stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we actually spend more time than I thought in this film, like in the Daily Planet, which I love. I'm a huge fan of that.
How about Perry smoking a fake cigar? Do you guys like that?
I loved it. I loved it.
Just
It's
zero
so
smoke
classy.
or anything coming off of it. I'm like, come on.
It's you know what? Oh my god! But it's so great. And you know what? It kind of really like damn, like you were saying earlier about you were making a point about the campiness, and it really leans into. I wouldn't really say it has a lot of camp though. It's more pulp. Like it's more pulpy. Like it's
I wouldn't describe it as because campy is eye rolly, right? Like or it's like cringy.
The only campy stuff really is like the beginning when Clark first walks into the Daily Planet, I would say, where it's just like overtly like, hey there, idiot, and like stuff like that. Like that's the camp for me. But it's also Beck Bennett, who I loved on Saturday Night Live, and we used to watch him even before that.
dude. He
with
was
Kyle Mooney.
He was so funny.
Fantastic.
In this movie.
And
So
Steve
funny.
Lombard was like that in the comics a lot. He's just like the big office jock douchebag. And
I always find it funny when they make like, oh, Clark Kent's like a nerd and he's like 6'5" and handsome.
Sup,
as fuck.
nerd?
Yeah, what an idiot.
who's hot these days?
Yeah.
However, one cool thing too I was going to bring up anyway down the road, but we'll do it now, is the hypno glasses thing.
Yes.
That
The
they introduced.
Hypnotoad.
Which I think the interpretation of how we're supposed to see Clark is not how everyone else around him actually sees him with the glasses on. So he could, for all we know, look like this little dweeb to like literally everyone else in the office except for Lois.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll ever actually see that interpreted.
I don't
but-
think it's necessary.
I wonder
not
if we'll,
really,
I
like-
wonder if we're ever going to explore the ethics of Superman hypnotizing people on a day-to-day basis unknowingly.
True. Or like at least what the extent is. Like maybe it just makes his nose and eyes look bigger, or like something.
I don't know. Wonder Woman 84 got a pass for, taking someone else's body and having sex with it. So,
That's true.
God,
Yeah.
what a piece of garbage movie. Wow. I forgot about that movie for a minute.
yeah, I'm so sorry to remind you.
What a train wreck
bunch
that
of
movie.
stink bombs in there.
Yeah. Kal-El, no.
Man, what a train wreck.
Max
You know
Lord.
what? It's there's been so much bad stuff coming out of like these superhero movies. It's refreshing to actually come on a movie and be like, oh wow, like
Yeah.
not only do
I'm happy.
not only do I love this, but like this is one of the only superhero movies I've seen in the past few years where like I can't wait to rewatch it.
Yep.
We left Thunderbolts. I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. I'll never see it ever again in my entire life.
My bar has been set so low recently where it's just like it's a good movie in my eyes if I didn't leave the theater angry or grumpy. that's
true.
my like I've just been so jaded and miserable about movies lately where it's like again I left with a smile on my face. Wow. But now I'm trying to decipher is like was it good or was it just like not terrible? But I think it was a good movie.
Yeah, like do we have recency bias right now? Because what the one thing that I actually found about this movie is like I was getting caught up in the spectacle. Again, we saw it in IMAX, we saw it in under like good conditions, but I kind of maybe it's just my reverence for the world and the characters. I don't know, but I was allowing myself to get caught up in the spectacle of everything, and when those emotional moments hit, like James Gunn knows how to make those work, and he knows how to make them impactful.
I think baseline for me going in was like, especially as soon as, and not that Rotten Tomatoes is like held on a pedestal for me because it's not, and more often than not they're terribly wrong or uninformative. But as soon as I saw those reviews come out, I was like, okay, at the very least.
What you were going to say?
You know what I was gonna say?
100%.
No,
What was I gonna say?
I know. We won't go there.
Yeah, we won't.
But at bare minimum, I was expecting something as well made and well crafted as Guardians, except with characters that I grew up absolutely adoring and loving. So I'm like, at the baseline, like that was my expectation, and I think those expectations were exceeded for me personally.
I think this is his best movie.
Yeah.
Taking my bias for the characters
I would say so.
aside,
Well, you know what? He brought up a good point in the interview we were watching yesterday at Dak Shepard, and he was saying he's like, this is the first superhero movie he's made, because he doesn't consider Guardians superheroes. So like to him, like this was the first superhero
That's
movie
interesting.
he made. Well, because he was like, they're just a bunch of ragtag
People with
going on
superpowers.
adventures. Yeah, but I mean, they don't. I mean, other than Groot, but he's like an alien, I guess.
Groot, Rocket's a live raccoon. That's a genius. Gamora is a superpowered
But I mean,
human
they're
being.
not like heroes, really. Like
Okay.
they become
Sorry,
heroes.
he made a
eventually, but-
super person.
I'm just
movie.
going. I'm just going off of what he
No,
said.
no, I know.
Yeah.
I just
I'm
highly
not-
disagree
I
with it.
truly
But
don't
yeah,
give a
Fight!
flying-
Fight!
I truly don't give a flying rat's ass about Guardians of the Galaxy.
A
at
raccoon,
all.
perhaps.
yeah.
Mayhaps.
Yes.
And
But I love these characters. So
what movie
It gets-
of his do you think is better than this movie?
Guardians 1 and 3, both of them.
no.
Yes.
I'd highly disagree with that.
I respect your opinion, and this is a safe place. But
I hate Guardians
hard-
2. I think Guardians 2 is
hard
terrible.
disagree. I think this is. You know what? Okay.
I think Scooby Doo was his best movie.
Did he do Scooby Doo?
He wrote Scooby Doo.
Did he actually? I didn't know that. Which one? The
Bangers.
Cyber Chase? Love that one.
Cyber Chase.
Great animated film.
The live action.
I know. I'm
Oh,
yeah,
but that is a
I know.
fantastic.
The Cyber Chase is a great movie.
Fantastic. I had the
Scooby-Doo.
PS1 game of that. Too.
Oh,
You know what? This movie just felt like there was like James Gunn's heart and soul poured into this.
can I give my reason why I think Guardians 3 is a better movie than this?
Sure, we can go there.
I think the emotional.
Sorry.
Sorry, yeah, we got a TV
Oh,
playing.
we just watched this clip. Well, actually, I hate this movie.
For people that are watching and listening, we have a monitor playing in the background, and it was just playing like a random loop of a couple of YouTube videos, Superman related, and a Man of Steel clip popped up, and we just all got distracted for a second. But yeah, we see that clip. It's like, yeah, actually, I hate this movie.
We love
sorry,
both.
Dan, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. It's fine. What was I saying?
You were talking about you were somehow defending Guardians 3 as being better than
Guardians 3
Superman.
is a better movie. It's the emotions hit way harder in Guardians 3,
But
and it's a good
can I
wrap up
ask you
story.
this, though?
Correct.
Do the emotions hit harder because it was the culmination of two movies and seeing those characters hit their breaking point, aka Rocket?
Like, I don't think that really matters, though.
I think it does.
Okay, but here,
I mean, like, yes, I get the point you're trying to make, but also
Because I do agree, by the way. I think Guardians 3 is a good movie.
it's
Guardians
a
3
very
is good.
well
The
wrapped
the
up.
emotions, the way it wrapped up all that storyline and how it made Rocket the center of attention and like the emotions that hit.
But I would
finally
argue
seeing
Rocket's
all that.
story, the reason Rocket's story is actually like a prequel, so it's not even like, yes, it wraps up his story, but the emotional beats are telling the precursor of his story, like how he came to
but
be that
he
sad
alludes, but he
animal.
alludes to that throughout the first two movies too. And then
Correct.
You finally see it, and it's heartbreaking. So you have,
But
that
it's not
emotional
because they were
response.
like it's not, I would make the argument that that movie is not good because they mentioned that Rocket was a experimented on animal. I mean, it's pretty implied he's a talking raccoon that he was experimented on. Is like we actually saw what happened. Like Rocket's unconscious for the whole movie. So the whole movie of his perspective is his past, and it's a very touching story about like friendship and animal abuse and like all that crazy shit. So I mean, like, yes, it wraps up his story, but all of the moments that happen throughout are mostly flashbacks, which have nothing to do with Guardians 1 or 2, right? That's my argument, at least.
Okay, let me ask another question. And I'm not trying to talk shit on Guardians 3. So I thought that was a really good movie. Take the Rocket story like out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the film, I don't think what was the guy's name? Like the gold.
Adam
dudes.
Warlock.
Adam
Warlock.
Warlock. Like that was.
Well, he's like the weakest
so
part of the
annoying in that movie. Like that was like, take the Rocket stuff out of there. It's actually I can't even make that argument because the Rocket stuff is kind of like what.
And the
drives
Star-Lord
entire
story
film.
is awesome, too, when
But-
he sacrifices himself at the end. And then I think also...
Oh, then it's instantly reversed because there's no consequences. Yeah, that's
well,
awesome.
I mean, Nebula's story
There's
is also
consequences
great.
in this movie. The guy that sold him falafels gets shot. That's true though. No.
The falafel guy is shot.
I'm not
the
like,
draw,
making
yeah.
a joke out of it. I'm just saying, like, yeah,
No, I know.
that was very touching. They sacrificed for himself, and then it was immediately undone.
What, the falafel guy?
No, in Guardians.
I was like, I don't think he was on... I'm
No,
pretty sure he was really
no,
dead.
no, There's a 45 in between his brain for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Again.
But
I'm
that's a
trying to
Marvel
remember this.
versus that's a Marvel issue because you know
Exactly.
like that's
We're
a
back
whole,
in the superior universe. That's the whole point, buddy.
I still think I'm still gonna make the argument. I think
And
I
again,
enjoyed it. It was a good movie. I think Guardians 3 is a better movie. That's my argument.
No, I know. I'm just being
think,
confrontational for no
never
reason.
mind.
And
I'm not
again,
gonna go down
I
this
might have
rabbit hole.
recency bias. I don't know. And I have bias because I love Superman. But I just felt like for the first time, I really felt like James Gunn's like heart and soul got poured into this. Like when I was watching it, I was like, wow, this is the movie he wanted to make. He's been wanting to make. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't disagree with any of that. I agree with everything you're saying.
Well, so, going further than just this movie, at some point, they're going to have to throw Batman into this team.
Mm-hmm.
Who would we like? What are the options?
Jason Bateman. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one.
Danny DeVito, I think, is my number.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I don't even know who is Jason Bateman.
He's where do you know him from?
Jason
Arrested
Bateman.
Development.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Rachel McAdams.
Yep.
For Batman.
Who would we want to see as Batman?
Jensen Ackles.
Yeah.
I want
honestly,
Jensen
I'm on board
Ackles.
with Jensen Ackles for sure. That's 2 for him.
He's already voiced him. He's already got half the thing.
He's got the
you-
look
you
too.
know.
He's jacked. Like
do you think?
he's imposing. Like him as a Soldier Boy in the Boys.
Up in the hall.
You know, obviously he's a complete
Don't call me you.
he's a complete dickhead in that one. But you know, still
I mean,
he's got the-
Batman's
he's
kind
got
of a
the-
dickhead,
He's got
so
the
I mean-
physicality. Like yeah, I don't know.
Who's yours before I go? Because I'll give the well answer to this. I'll be that guy now. I'll take that energy from you and put it on me now.
I don't know. I don't know if it would work, but like Alan
Tudyk.
Richmond.
Alan Moore.
Alan Fisher.
That would be.
Makes me want to be a raccoon.
Yeah, that'd be
Alan Iverson.
That'd be a goated Batman.
Yeah.
No, Alan.
Talking about practice.
Yeah, Alan Richmond would be. He's been like my fan cast for like a little while, but again, he'd be like.
He's enormous.
He would literally, you wouldn't even have to do anything in terms of like
Yeah.
conditioning.
He's
Don't
almost
have to
too
pat
big to
his
be
suit.
Batman. I feel like
He's massive.
he's like too big to be Batman.
Yeah.
But
Where
you know
is
what?
he?
Like you watch shows like Reacher and stuff. Like he has that kind of energy, and he has that
Yeah.
kind of he can pull off that suaveness of like a Bruce Wayne
Absolute stud.
and be an absolute menace.
Yeah.
Him or I think I don't know if you guys might see it, but I think like low key like Bill Skarsgård I think would be sick.
Bill
As-
Skarsgård.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've actually never thought
That's
of that.
not.
Interesting.
like take like Bill Skarsgård like from like Northman. Like you know what I
okay,
mean, like
yeah.
that kind of like
Yeah.
that kind. I'm not talking about like Nosferatu Bill Skarsgård. Although you know
Batman's probably hung like Nosferatu.
I mean lead into some of those horror aspects, like for
Yeah.
sure. But
Fun fact: speaking of phallic imagery, he's actually kept that that rubber
He
dick.
gave
from-
it to Nick Holt.
Yeah,
He just said that in an interview I watched.
He has
today.
kept that. Like that's like a. It's like
He
a
gifted
gift.
it to
Yeah.
Nick Holt. Yeah, framed.
which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So funny.
His penis.
Yeah. Like
So
actually.
there's a literal scene where Nosferatu is like it's a jump scare. He's just standing there and it's just dangling.
Yeah. You know what? When you said that, you watched it in the theater, and then I watched it. I was like, oh, it's like not even that. Like you see like a little bit. I had to pause, rewind.
I was pretty
magnify.
turned on. Yeah.
That's what I have to do in the mirror every
Yeah.
morning.
I had to go to the bathroom really quick after that scene.
But no, like you take Bill Skarsgård from like like I'm thinking when I'm thinking of him, like I'm thinking of like his Northman like performance, like because you saw Northman, like he was an absolute
Is he
monster.
from Toronto? His Northman's.
Yo, from the
Northman the Six.
Yeah.
Yo,
The
Bill
Six
Skarsgård
God.
from the
You know
Six
what I'm
Dog.
saying though, right? Like he
Yeah.
was an absolute monster in that
Yeah.
movie. Like I think he would be able to be a sick Batman. I think he could pull it off, but different kind of take.
Yep.
Alan Richmond's my number one, but go ahead, Ben.
All right, I'm gonna take the vibes from you now. I'm gonna put it on myself. So, from my research, I've determined.
Oh, that's
that,
my vibe. Thanks, man.
yes. They want him to be around the same age as David Cornsmead, who is, I believe, he's born in '93. So what, 32 right now? I think they can make it work even if he has Damian as his son, if they make the guy like 35, 36. So he's already been operating as Batman for presumably over 10 years. He could have easily had the kid, been in the League of Shadows, been with Talia at like 20, 21 years old, had the kid unbeknownst to him, who then grows up and he's around 12 or 13 when he finally meets him and becomes Damian Wayne's Robin, right? Brandon Sklenner, I think his name.
Leonard Skinner.
Leonard Skinner, yep. Brandon Sklenner. For those of you who don't know him, I think the show's called like 1903 or something like that. But he's a big dude. He's the same size as David. He's like absolutely massive as it is already without training. He's got that deep, gravelly voice. And I've seen a couple renders of him, and he would like look phenomenal and be in like just the sweet spot of an age pocket. But he's not that popular, which I think they're trying to go for with casting David too, because like he's been in some good stuff, but like he's relatively unknown. And I think that's kind of the vibe they're they're going for because
Not no more, man. He's about to be
well, no, but that's
a superstar now.
well, exactly. But like
I know.
they want that longevity, right? Like because this movie did well, if it performs well at the box office, like this guy's gonna be signed on to like 10 years, easy, right? They want someone like that.
Yeah, and he'll say yes too. Like he doesn't,
sure.
he doesn't have that star power to be like, well, like
No, exactly.
fucking
Like
Robert
both of them
Downey
be
Jr.
grateful,
Like, hey, I'll show up in this movie for 10 minutes, get paid $50 and
$100%.
$50,
He
$50
probably signed
million
on-
dollars in
he
a
probably
private
signed
jet.
on to this for like 500 grand. which is
$50 and a
nuts.
lollipop.
Yeah. With that being said, I saw a group of Smallville renders of like all the characters like not grown up but like aged, and Alan Ritchson played Aquaman on Smallville.
Yeah, he did.
And in his current form, wearing an Aquaman style suit, I was like,
Oh,
Yeah,
that would be
that would actually be
phenomenal to
sick.
see him
That'd
back
be
because he's
nasty,
blonde
too.
too. He's got that like wit and charm. Like he could be just like this absolute like menace of an
Yeah,
Aquaman.
that would be nasty too.
That'd be
Yeah.
sick.
I
just-
you know, okay, so if they do that, they put him as Aquaman, then they put Ben Affleck as Batman.
They put Ben Affleck as the Flash. Jay Garrick. He low-key like slap a little bit.
Christian Bale is Alfred.
That, honestly, that'd be pretty
Master
meta.
Wayne.
That'd be very meta.
Yeah, that'd be insane.
I said that as a joke,
actually
but
make
like
a
that would
great
be really good.
Alfred. Yeah,
He'd be phenomenal. Yeah, he'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like realistically, like the only right choice is recasting Ben Affleck. But like that's really the only right choice.
Well, no,
you
he
can
has to
make.
be exactly 33, right, Ben?
35 or 36.
But here's the thing. I think they can go for another slightly older Batman, though, given that if the rumors are true, if the Brave and the Bold has Damian.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
No, but like
As Damian
realistically, like think about it.
LaDainian Wayne.
Like think about it.
Is Rachel Brosnahan the most beautiful girl you've ever seen? My goodness.
Miss him.
Holy.
No, but think about miss him. But no, like Alan Richard, like de-age him by 5-10 years, which is easily done
Yeah.
just through makeup. And
Genuinely,
like if he has Damian already, like in Brave and the Bold, like you can get away with a slightly older Batman.
for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
All I'm saying is I get why they
What
want
was
to
he,
go
14
young.
years old, slamming Tally in the League of Shadows to have like Damian be 16 by the time he's 28?
I mean, he probably would because he's a stud.
I think he's this man right here, Mr. James Pistol, said that he
James Pistol.
James Pistol said that he's been operating because you do see Batman canonically in this current DCU in Creature Commandos,
True.
looking like a stud with short ears. Footnote.
Yes, thank God. Thank God.
No!
And in an interview, he said, I'm going to paraphrase heavily here, but he said he's been operating for 12 to 15 years.
Okay, there you go.
Okay.
Alan Ridley.
He could have, Talia and him could have held hands together because that's how it works, right? They could have held hands together at like 20, 21, and now skip forward. He's 35, 15 years of operation. The kid's like 14.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Let's
Possible,
go.
yeah.
I just think purely for like, I'm thinking on a technical level now, longevity wise, if this thing's going to do very well going forward and actually span like a decade or so, they're not going to cast like a 45, 50-year-old dude to like, he's going to be 60 in Justice League. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I know.
yeah, you can de-age, you can make up whatever, but I don't know.
Yes, agreed. You know what one thing I just saw from looking at these clips? Remember when we thought when he uses his heat vision, it's going to like fuck up his eyes?
so glad.
I'm so glad it wasn't
glad
that.
that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. And it made more sense of why. Too.
Yeah,
But
I
I
was
was
like-
expecting him to like pull, like he's going to shoot them back. I don't think he didn't. I'm like, but he's only been Superman for what, 3 years, it said at the beginning of the movie. So I'm sure he will improve upon and hone his skills as we go further on.
Yes.
And also, Yame's Pistol said,
Like I'm saying, like if he like Bill Skarsgård, he bulks up a little bit. Like that's Batman right
I
there.
don't know if that was the right picture to show us.
Why he looks like Bruce Wayne in that picture. Let's go.
You want to come back to my room,
he
madam?
looks like the Oscars videographer.
Like come on, like you gotta see the vision a little bit here. Like come on, like you bulk him up a
Yeah,
little
yeah.
bit.
That,
you
that one's
get
a
him
better.
to
That one's a
230,
better photo to
Get him to
show.
a healthy
for sure.
230. Like bro, that's Batman right there, bro.
Yeah.
That's Batman right there.
It was like you showed us a picture of Pennywise.
Yeah. The Batman who laughs.
Now the Joker,
There we go.
on the other hand, make him the Joker. He would be phenomenal as the
Los
Joker.
Kiki.
The Hoker, the Hokey and the
Rafiki's
Pokey.
cousin. All right. Anyways, is
And,
there
I think we
anything
gotta
else we'd
wrap
like to
this
talk
up.
about before we
Just
wrap
looking
this
for
up?
Photos of Brandon Sklar with his shirt off.
Nice. You want a picture of me with my shirt off? Cast me as Batman.
You can see me in
Batman,
Marine
who's
Land.
been retired for 5 years, coming back.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
there's a lot of
Closing
ways to
thoughts.
go. At the end of the day, I love this movie. What are you laughing at, Dan?
I just love you so much.
Why?
I'm just
Why are you
laughing.
laughing at me?
Oh my god! It's just because of how far we've come.
We've come far.
That's all I'm laughing at. Just the thought of you. I'm having flashbacks to just the absolute anger leading up to.
We
this.
should, if anyone wants to make the effort, we should edit like what we were saying before to now. I think it'd be actually a pretty
Yeah.
cool video.
It would be pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Actually. So the first one is going to be Superman Legacy. Superman Legacy, honestly, like that is that's great. I always want like a Superman movie. My only quarrel with this is I never want to see James Gunn touch a Superman script in my entire life. Here's the thing. I don't like his style of writing at all. I don't like Guardians was okay. The fact that he's writing the script for a Superman movie actually scares me.
Okay, Alex, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
I liked it a lot, man. I'm gonna say I'm gonna rate it. I hate rating movies, but I'm gonna say
You've never done it before.
I'm gonna say 8 out of 10. I liked it a lot, bro.
8 out of 10. All right, Daniel.
I'm gonna go with a healthy 7.1.
There it is.
That's my rating.
Nice.
Ben.
I'm going to adjust a little bit based on my previous answer.
Okay.
8.8. 88%.
Massive change.
Massive change.
That's surprising. That's like higher than my score, and like
Yeah.
I'm the one that's most
Yeah.
enthusiastic about it. I feel.
I don't know.
Damn.
It was just to me like watching like an episode of like Justice League Unlimited or like Superman the animated series growing up, and yeah, I enjoyed it. The more I sit here and talk about it too, I'm like I want to see it again.
Well, like, what were you saying about your dad?
Mm.
Like, you guys like watched.
Yeah, so like literally I sat down with my dad, and this is still when I was in the phase, and by still in the phase I mean as of like 4 days ago of like really
dreading it. I'm dreading to go see it.
of dreading what this could be.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just seeing like he grew up reading like Superman comics, and he's the one who got me into comics as a kid. And he was always like a big fan of the Christopher Reeve movies, and like he even had the Superman, I don't know if it was Superman or Superman 2 soundtrack on vinyl. So growing up and like seeing the smile on his face after seeing like this Superman trailer was enough for me to be like, okay, let's
you're
take
like, what
a
am I
breath
doing?
here. Like,
Like,
what
yeah.
am I doing? Like, I love this character too. Like, I really just got to look at it from a different lens and just accept it for what it is, and it being, you know, a lot more pulpy and a lot more upbeat and focusing on his actual heroics as opposed to trying to do anything new or whatever. And yeah, that swayed my previewing experience opinion, which I think has helped inform my current opinion.
Beautifully said.
I like it.
Reese.
It's also very inspirational. Like, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly was going to go between a 7.5 and an 8 as well. I did really like the movie. I thought it was fun. I left the theater happy. I was really broad. I know, crazy criteria to go by. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like the emotional moments hit. At one point, like I kind of came out of a moment for 2 seconds. I was like, damn, we're probably like 3/4 away from the movie, and I've been like glued to the screen the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that was a good feeling. I know, again, the bar's low, but I was
Honestly,
I was
like,
surprisingly happy to.
The only other one more thing I want to say as well as a closing thought is I was really worried about the cinematography because I'm not a huge fan of James Gunn's lens choices and his framing.
the 5 to 8 millimeter.
However,
lens.
what I will say, like aside from a couple of like small little like CGI like things where it's like I think like some of the flight sequences like don't look very good. Like it all kind of worked like for the film, and actually like for a lot of the film was actually very visually striking, and like the colors were popping, and like it was just kind of like that it was just very eye catching. It was pulpy, like it was, you know what I mean. It was good. It worked out. It made those like real, like super wide close up shots where he just centers the cameras on someone's face, where he could have just, you know, instead of using a 50, you know, he decided to use a 5.
He forgot a 0.
He used a GoPro.
I'm sorry, I'm being hyperbolic.
The action was actually really good too. I enjoyed
Action
it.
was great. The CGI of that monster in the Metropolis that he was like fighting, that like they let out, I thought it looked fantastic. Like it looked so good.
How about you, Dan?
Yeah, Dan, what'd you think?
Well, so we had this conversation earlier, and my immediate thought was that like, oh, this looks bad, but it wasn't because it looked fidelity-wise bad. It's just that he's adopting that very cartoony style, and like my brain can't wrap around it not looking realistic, as it like it interprets it being not realistic looking as bad, but it's not bad CGI. It's good CGI. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't match anything that looks real. But again, that's a stylistic choice. It's not. It objectively, it's good CGI. It's just a different style than what I'm used to seeing on the screen.
Yeah, so it's all great. Finally, a superhero movie with a little bit of rewatchability.
Yeah. Wow.
Which is nice for me.
Yeah,
So
I'm excited to see it again for sure.
Yeah.
What do we got coming up before we say goodbye?
Fantastic Four. I was about to say Fantastic Beasts. But
Where to find them?
Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. Yeah.
Saw F1 last week. I like that movie. I like
Yep.
racing stuff. If you like racing stuff and you like Top Gun, go see F1.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Bradley Pitt's pretty hot too. So
Yeah.
yeah, good times.
He was great in this movie when he was telling Kyle to go kill everybody.
It's the wrong Bradley, but I like where your head's at.
That'll be Mr. Cooper that you're referring to.
I know, I'm kidding.
Yeah, let us know what you thought of the movie if you've seen it already, and if you, for some reason, watched this all the way through and have not seen the movie, then rest your soul. We're looking forward to Fantastic Four, though. I'm excited. I love those characters. I hope it is not another Marvel bore fest. I really, really hope it has its own kind of identity, even though we already know where it's going to lead. And yeah, we'll stay tuned for that. We'll get on another pod.
Hell yeah! Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thanks for
Appreciate it.
sticking with us.
We'll see you guys next time on the
Okay,
Friendly
bye.
Neighborhood Fanboys.